Hello and welcome to the 2020 Dimension Development Company Employee Benefits presentation. During the next 15 to 20 minutes, we'll walk through what types of insurance products are going to continue to be offered through Dimension Development Company. The prices for those will be online, same as they were last year. You'll be able to see any price change online through Benefits Connect. We'll go through that in a second. But before we get into the detail, please always remember you've got a great opportunity to contribute to the Dimension Development Disaster Relief Fund. And so if you'd like to do that, you may also be able to make that contribution on Benefits Connect. At the top of this page, we see the exact same coverages that were offered last year. So we still have medical, supplemental plans, dental, vision, life insurance, disability, pet insurance, a health spending account, and all these benefits are eligible for COBRA. One of the things that we want to emphasize is that all eligible employees must go online to enroll annually. Otherwise, the benefits are going to terminate on December 31st, 2019. In general, what you pick during open enrollment sticks or cannot be changed unless you have one of these qualifying life events on the bottom of page 2. So please make sure and check that out. Pages 3 and 4 list some screenshots of this site right here, enroll.benefitsconnect.net/dimdev. This is where you go online to see what types of coverages are available. That's what we're going through today. And then the cost for each line of coverage. So it's the same website as it was last year. Now, before we get into everything else, let's just talk about medical. So the carrier is the exact same as it was last year. Aetna, it's been a good carrier for us for a couple of years now. The network is the same. The first two plans are two choices that you have here on page 5. The least expensive option is this Aetna HSA eligible plan. Now, that is for an individual who wants to protect against catastrophic coverage. You have a very high individual deductible. That's the case on all HSA plans. But for that high individual deductible, you get the chance, if you so choose, to put aside your own money into a health savings account that rolls over from year to year and is always there if you need it. So this plan would be appropriate for somebody who wants to protect against catastrophic coverage, because all expenses until you get to $6,550 on an individual basis go towards that deductible. Now, by contrast, we also have 3 other options. These other options are copay plans. So if you go to the doctor, you've got a $45 copay. If you go to the specialist, you've got a $75 copay, virtual visits, retail clinics, and then of course you've got a lower deductible here. So you're going to pay a little more in terms of the cost of the premium than you would on an HSA plan for the cost of a copay plan. And so depending on how much you use these benefits throughout the year, that's really what helps make your decision. So it's got copays for when you go to see the doctor or go to urgent care. It's also got copays when you get a prescription. Now, again, that's in contrast to the HSA plan, which is really for somebody who wants to protect against catastrophic coverage, but there are no copays or anything like that on the plan. There are also 2 other plans that we'd like for you to consider. There are 2 different kinds of buy-up options. Now, here are the differences. This plan, this third plan, the network is a point of service plan. You've got a little lower copay than the second plan for various things that you would need. You also have a lower deductible, so the cost of insurance will be a little higher for a lower copay and a lower deductible. Now, also, if you wanted the lowest amount of copays and deductible, then you would be picking this 4th plan option. As you can see, there are tiers of different copays for prescription drugs on this plan. And the worst case scenario on an annual basis on either of these plans is really about the same number. So it really depends on how much you use these different benefits throughout the year. There's a couple of things that we'll point out. Step therapy just means you need to try another medication first. Pre-certification means that they have to call ahead to see if it's covered. And you should always accept generic medications over name brand whenever appropriate. Use the CVS Caremark mail service. This is for maintenance drugs. Always make sure to use in-network providers, and they're around the country, no matter which city you live in. An urgent care alternative is a great example of Teladoc. Teladoc is 24/7, 365. So instead of going to an urgent care clinic and seeing the doc, you can call Teladoc for a lot of the aches, pains, sinus infections, things like that. So they also have a really good app that you can download. Here's more information on Teladoc right here that you can view at a later point in time. Now I'm going to adjust the sizing on this so that it is legible. This is a great slide to remind you of where to go when. So you should go to an emergency room if you're having chest pains or concussions or seizures. Urgent care is great for bee stings, rashes, burns, broken leg. Primary doc is for wellness exams or flu shots. Retail walk-in clinic, you could also get some of this stuff done. So you have a decision to make to go to an urgent care clinic for some of the more minor issues that could be going on, or calling Teladoc, but only go to the emergency room if it is life or limb threatening. Aetna's got a great app that you can download. I'm going to enlarge the size of the font again so that we can see it here. Let me move this screen over a little bit. There we go. Now here's information about the health savings account. You've got 4 total plans. 3 of those 4 plans are copay plans. So those are not eligible for a health savings account. Only the first plan is eligible for a health savings account. It is a separate bank account that is in your name that you can put pre-tax money into. If you don't spend that money and you continue to contribute to the HSA, just like any other bank account, it will be there in the future. It is for medical, dental, or vision. It always rolls over, and you can take it if you leave employment with dementia development. Now, the other options would be beneath the major medical coverage that I just referenced. So these are minimum essential coverage plans. For a couple of different markets like California and Washington, D.C., they still have an individual mandate, and this product satisfies the individual mandate. For the rest of the states in the country, besides a couple, we've got California, New Jersey, and Washington, D.C. that still have the individual mandate. You do not have an individual mandate for any other state. So this product satisfies legislation in those states, but it's a decent product for things that you might need throughout the year. It's called an indemnity plan, which means something like this. If you go into a hospital, you'll get $300 per day for a max of 90 days. And so you've got these defined or set amounts of benefit that the minimum essential coverage contract responds to. This would be ideal for somebody who really doesn't ever go to the doctor, doesn't want to pay too much for the cost of insurance, and wants to get a little bang for their buck, but it is not meant to be major medical coverage. That's why it's called minimum essential coverage. Now, voluntary supplemental benefit plans. These are AFLAC plans. So you've got 3 different plans. You've got an accidental benefit plan, you've got a critical illness plan, and you've got a hospital plan. The accident is if you get into an accident. It pays for if you go into a hospital, and it pays different benefit amounts depending on what it is. You've got a critical illness policy that covers a lot of the major things that cause most people concern. There are different benefit amounts. You'll be able to go into Benefits Connect to be able to see how much the cost of care is for each policy. A hospital policy is actually a pretty decent policy if you're on one of the higher deductible plans. And that's because if you go into the hospital, this policy pays you for going into the hospital. So if you are underneath your deductible and you buy this policy, then that money goes to your mailbox, and you can use that to meet your deductible or buy gas and groceries. Now let's talk about your teeth. There are 2 plans, and one is a low plan, one is a high plan. The carrier is Guardian. This is the same as it was last year. The cost for this coverage will be in Benefits Connect. You'll have an annual maximum of this amount, $1,250 per covered individual. The high plan has some rollover, which means you've got some money if you don't use it that can be rolled over for the future. 2 teeth cleanings per year are covered at $0, but if you go into the dentist and they find a cavity, then that cavity is going to have to be filled. And so the high plan has more coverage than the low plan. High plan also has orthodontia benefit if that is of interest to you. Vision, the carrier is VSP. You've got some copays for single, bifocal, or trifocal lenses. You've also got some standard progressives that are on a copay for somebody like me who needs those. I always encourage people when they're going to the eye doctor to go around and shop. And so, because the reason I recommend that is you've got this once every language in here, and that means you can't get glasses and contacts paid for at the same time by insurance. So make sure that you know the cost of your contacts or the cost of your glasses and lenses, because if you have contacts, you've got $150, or you get some frames with some lenses, you've got some out-of-pocket money there. And so make sure that you know which one is best for you and use the insurance to pay for the other. Basic life, accidental death, and dismemberment. So these are our life insurance policies. The benefit is here. It is free to you. We really like that. And so you, depending on who you are, you get different amounts at Dimension. And if you want extra life insurance, that's what voluntary life, accidental death, and dismemberment is. The biggest, most confusing thing about extra life insurance is this: a guarantee issue of $150,000. That means no medical questions asked. So evidence of insurability, that's what EOI is required if you didn't enroll when you were first eligible. So if you've heard this drill before and you want to apply for more life insurance, you can. You're just going to have to fill out some paperwork. That's called an evidence of insurability. If this is your first time hearing this, then you've got a one-time shot at purchasing $150,000 with no medical questions asked. You'll be able to move a button on Benefits Connect to see how much the cost of coverage would be, and then it'll let you know if you need to fill out an evidence of insurability. Short-term disability insurance. This is insurance on your paycheck. For example, if you are out of work for an accident or an injury, the policy pays up to $600 a week for 26 weeks. It protects up to 60% of your paycheck during those weeks. That's why we call it insurance on your paycheck. So if you are out of work for an accident or an illness, after 15 days of being out, this policy starts to kick in and protects a portion of your paycheck. And again, you'll be able to move a button on Benefits Connect to see the cost for that. EAP, these are all free. Here is the username and the password. It's for you and any of your family members. Counseling or referral services are included for free. It's covered by Aetna. Pet insurance is for Fluffy and Muffy. So if you would like to see the cost for that, you're going to go to this link and go to that website and be able to see how much it costs to cover Fido and anybody else that's a furry animal in your household. This is a premium only plan, which means that the benefits come out before taxes do. The rest of the information we will not cover today because these are government required notices, so we have to let you know this information. But just for the sake of the length of the meeting, we won't go over everything today. So you can take a look at the rest of this information at your leisure, and I will end up on this last page, questions and answers. Okay, so enroll or terminate individual or dependent coverage in medical, dental, or vision plans. Please, everybody, go online to the Benefits Connect website that is detailed earlier in this book. Make sure you choose what you want and you choose what you don't want. Now is the time to make any ads or changes. Everybody's got to go in and enroll annually. Otherwise, the benefits will cancel. Again, more about evidence of insurability. Employees or spouses will have 60 days to submit their completed forms. Otherwise, the request for coverage will be closed. So if you do have an EOI, we want to make sure that it gets to the insurance carrier. Mary W. is there right in Natchitoches. She's fabulous. Ann is in San Antonio. She also is fabulous. And you've got a lineup of the rest of the phone numbers and contact information and website for the rest of your insurance products this year. I want to say thank you to the incredible leadership team at Dimension Development for continuing to offer a great package. We hope you guys see a lot of value in it because it is hard to offer such a competitive benefit package. Thanks for listening and have a great day.